Well, also tonight, the NPP, they have been reacting to the choice of former Education Minister Professor Joy997FM as running mate to the NDC presidential candidate.
We can only conclude that the choice of Professor Joy997FM by Mr. John Dramani Mahama is a clear indication that he does not take the Ghanaian electorate seriously.
91 staff of Kolebu Teaching Hospital test positive for COVID-19 as the hospital suspends urgent cases for 2 weeks. Also tonight, minority in parliament demands shutdown of schools and postponement of final year exams after COVID-19 cases reportedly recorded in some senior high schools.
Is it not better to have live wards, even if they become illiterate, than to have kids in schools who may not even see the light of day?
Meanwhile, security has been beefed up at the Accra Girls Senior High School as parents and guardians continue to storm the facility to withdraw their children over coronavirus fears.
PT executives, nobody's talking, the chairman is not talking, the secretary, who's a teacher here, also refused to talk.
In business.
The research firm Isoko forecast significant reduction in price of foodstuffs in the coming weeks.
We have all the latest for you, plus sports also here on Newsnight. I want to hear from you. 0244 437 is the WhatsApp line. My name is Evans Benson. And it's so live here on Joy 99.7 FM. This is a news night, and of course today there's been a major decision by the National Democratic Congress, in particular John Dramani Mahama, who has named Professor Joy997FM, the former Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, former Education Minister, who served under him as his running mate. A short while ago, Madam Joy997FM issued a statement accepting her nomination as the running mate, in which she says that, declaring that she will pledge to work diligently, applying herself and dedicating all her energies and intellect I can master to ensure a resounding victory for the NDC and for our country, Ghana. So help me God. A statement she issued a short while ago said, remember, in her constituency of KEEA, her home constituency, I must say, there have been jubilation today by market women in the KEEA who are excited, thanking John Mahama for nominating her. I want to take you live now to the Central Region. My Central Regional correspondent, Kojo Nyako, is on the line. Kojo, so tell me, why were the market women so excited?
Well, so it's been quite a day. It's been an interesting day for them. According to them, the woman has got very good personal relationship with them, and her selection is a good one for them. They feel that she will bring on board policies that will influence or will affect women and children positively. And so let's listen to the press conference they addressed at Elmina today.
Oh, yeah, you may they Papa John Dramani Mahama. Where you are, Mammy? Na dama hene day ombra na since 1992 yinya vice president bia oye besia na ye weni sum da afi ya ma me ba ma ya to ama ne mo weni mo wa ba bo hwenye ne de shopa ade bia ye hia wa ya akoma de bia ya ma me wa kan ya papa ho mo wetu wa ya ma hen oye me ni jembo don pudo ofi hen kraba tekeye area ha a ofi commander yen me yisu friend time bia obaji hen do ana yabo hu ala oguna asom obaji hen do na wete yesu mususu ye na aye maamia oye hen nyije na ahohoho de ya today Yen papa JM we oba de ne vice oye wade ne pia obeye no boafo ne hina yije nyina anyi de oye besia ne besia de otimeti afo ya ase otabaton ya ase mbahwa ase iti yeti ne dam no kwari ye yaji.
Kojo, help me appreciate the central message there.
So in sum, they say that they are very happy and they are thankful to the former president and the NDC candidate John Mahama for nominating Professor Joy997FM Opoku-Agyeman, one of their own, as a running mate. And since 1992, there hasn't been any woman vice president, and they are going in their numbers to vote for her when things settle in the December polls. They say that as a woman, she will have a listening ear to them, and whenever they call her, she will be there to answer their call, and they can attest to the relationship she has with them. And so this is in sum what the women are saying. So,
but the story and the feedback is not quite as straightforward on the CUC campus, where she was the vice chancellor. Among the academic community there and students generally, I mean, there have been reactions to her nomination. What sense are you getting from there? Because that's a very important constituency for her as well.
Exactly. So she had two basic constituencies, the KEA and the university community. She lived for more than 30 years lecturing there. They say that they appreciate whatever she did as an academic, a very outstanding one. And as a scholar, she really contributed a lot to the research community as far as the university is concerned. So there were some cocktail of issues, mixed reactions from the university, while some are praising her for being elected or being selected as the running mate to the former president. Others are also saying that, well, for scholarship, she did very well, but for her leadership at the university, they did not really see much. She took over from Professor Adwabin in 2000, and then she was the first vice chancellor at the university, who is a woman at the University of Cape Coast. They did not really see much of a contribution as far as the leadership of the university is concerned. But in all, the university community is very happy that an alumnus of the university has been selected, and they are praying with her and they are praying for her that she would eventually be voted, their ticket will be voted for, and then she will become the vice president of this country.
Well, thank you there. That is Kunyako giving us a feel from the central region, home constituency of KEA, where obviously the market women have been excited, but of course some mixed reactions there from the University of Cape Coast, where she was the vice chancellor for some time. Talking about her, though, in terms of what we know she represents over time, Elton joins me with a bio of her. I mean, of course, we know she was a deputy. We know she was a education minister.
Right.
Before that, she was a first female vice chancellor of a public university.
Yes.
I mean, who else? What else do we know about her as a person?
So what we were able to dig out is that she was born on the 22nd of November 1951 in Cape Coast. Nana Joy997FM Opoku-Agyeman. She attended the Anglican Girls Secondary School at Koforidua and the Abri Girls Senior High School. She then had her secondary education at the Wesley Girls High School in Cape Coast from 1964 to 1971. She completed her B.Ed in English and French at the University of Cape Coast in 1977 and obtained her master's and doctorate degrees from the York University in Toronto, Canada in 1980 and 1986 respectively. Professor Opoku-Agyeman taught and worked at the University of Cape Coast starting in 1986. She held various academic positions, including head of the Department of English, Dean of the Faculty of Arts, Warden of the Adesha Hall, Vaco Trust Fund, Postgraduate Hostel, and Dean of School of Graduate Studies and Research. From 1997, she has held the position of Academic Director of the School for International Training in the History and Culture of the African Diaspora. From 2008 to 2012, she was the university's Vice Chancellor. In March 2007, she was one of 5 scholars selected to deliver presentations during the 200th anniversary of the abolition of slavery at the United Nations headquarters in New York. In October 2009, she was elected Ghana's representative to the Executive Board of the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. Now, ahead of 2012 general election, Evans, that's where she came into the public life where people saw her most. Jane Opoku-Agyeman moderated the debate with Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah, and between February 2013 and January 2017, she served as the Education Minister of Ghana. And then on October 26, 2018, she became the Chancellor of the Women's University in Africa, located in Zimbabwe. She has served on many local and international boards and committees, such as the Center for Democratic Governance, CDD, the editorial board of the Harriet Tubman series on the African diaspora, the African Initiative in Canada, and the College of Physicians and Surgeons as an eminent citizen.
I mean, that when it comes to her competence, though, I mean, as you've just sort of quite articulated, she's untouchable. Yeah, untouchable. I mean, and then she's been recognized as such. She received the Officer of the Order of the Volta Award. I mean, for academic distinction. I mean, and Ghana Women Excellence Award in education category. She's been acknowledged for outstanding performance in advancing international education at the School for International Training, Vermont, USA. On 2 occasions, not just once, 2 occasions. I mean, that tells you the sort of competence she comes into the game with. Of course, that is just a bit of what we know of her as an individual in terms of her qualification and what she brings to this from a competence side of things. The question remains about the politics side of things, which is going to be a key point.
Because the only, credit in terms of politics attributed to her is the fact that she served as Ghana's education minister between 2013 and 2017. That's perhaps the only role she's played in politics, in public life, as far as politics is concerned. Now, she's been given the opportunity to serve as running mate. If the NDC is successful, then she graduates to become the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. From now to December, she has a lot of work to do to convince people that the ticket that she's representing is the right one for the people of this country. And I'm sure that the MPP, as their main opponent, already they've started, bringing out some of the things that she did when she was education minister and trying to make the point that she may not be the best person. Ghanaians can entrust the destiny of the country in the hands of her and the candidate, John Dramani Mahama. So if you take his academic life out and you want to look at her as somebody who has become, a political figure, you wouldn't find much apart from the fact that she served as education minister. Yeah,
I mean, let's talk to somebody who knew her well, who can assess both her, her competence as an individual, but also her political gravitas. And that person is Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, who was her deputy for many, many years when they served under John Dramani Mahama.
I am ecstatic, certainly overjoyed. This is really great news, and you can tell that the rank and file of our party are charged and energized by this great decision. We really are confident in the choice of President John Dramani Mahama, the former president, who's now a flag bearer and leader of the party. He couldn't have made any better choice. He clearly has gone for a safe pair of hands, a woman of integrity, an achiever, a role model for many, a woman who has spent all her years molding generations of future leaders, spent all her working life, over 3 decades, teaching in the classroom, rose to become the first female Vice Chancellor of a public university, went all the way to serve on the UNESCO Council, is a respected fellow of the prestigious Ghana Academy of Arts and Sciences, a woman of many, many laurels. You do know she's received the Order of the Volta Award for distinguished academic work. She has over 4 doctorate degrees honorary, besides her professorial exploits. This is a woman who has dedicated her entire life to the service of this country in integrity. A very, very decent, very respectful woman. I work with her closely, Evans, and she had such a positive impact on me and all of us who served under her when she was Minister of Education. I mean, she's somebody who is just interested in results. It's not about thrills. It's not about the razzmatazz. It's not about noise making. She's just interested in getting the job done. She is an achiever, somebody who just delivers. That's who she has been all her life, and you can tell from the impressive reforms that she left our country with, the conversion of the polytechnics to technical universities. That's something she spearheaded very, very successfully, upgrading the colleges of education to tertiary institutions, right from legislation all the way to the content in terms of the TTEL initiative, which she secured funding for from USAID, DFID, and other donors. If you look at the work she did with the flagship secondary education improvement project, we saw the rehabilitation of all the science labs, 75 less performing senior high schools were selected and upgraded, giving quality improvement. If you look at the work she did with teach absenteeism, when she took over as Minister of Education, teach absenteeism was at 27%. She declared a zero tolerance for teacher absenteeism and brought it down to 7%. No wonder if you look at her outcomes, the BEC results were the best historically, the best BEC results ever in the history of our country. If you look at the WASI performance under her tenure for 4 consecutive years, Ghana was adjudged the best performing country. So this is somebody who her work speaks for her. She doesn't have to be loud, and she doesn't have to speak for long hours or deliver lengthy hollow lectures to make the point about what she's capable of, what her track record is, and how she can partner President Mahama to take us to the promised land. So a very, very, very strategic choice, a choice that has really shown that President Mahama is somebody who has this country at heart, who is interested in results, people who can help him deliver.
But Mr. Blakwa, so he's interested in results, but he can only deliver these results if you win the December 7 elections. Is Professor Jane Nana Poku-Agyeman suited for the hurly-burly of Ghanaian politics?
Absolutely. I believe she is. I have traveled the length and breadth of this country with her. She had this surprise visits policy where every month she selects a number of schools that we just quietly pay them a surprise visit, and you should see her groundwork, how she touches base with ordinary folks. You know,
did you say these were schools he was interacting with?
Yeah. I mean, beyond schools. Remember that this is somebody who's been a teacher all her life, knows how to come down to the level of students, of younger people. I mean, look at how she worked with, people like me. I mean, very young, her son, but we had such a cordial working relations, and we have continued to be great buddies, if you like. I mean, take even the fact that she's a patron to market women in Cape Coast. You know, so that's how she is. She doesn't like to be seen as elitist or somebody who is not down to earth, because she's not that kind of person. She always touches base. She's always.
Will the NDC foot soldiers, rank and file in your constituency, the guys in the trenches who you need galvanized now more than ever before, because we know what happened in 2016, will they embrace her?
You know, the rank and file of our politics, you know, the party apparatchiks, those who do the legwork, you know, they love the buzz. They love it when you make history. Look, this is the first time any of the two leading parties, the dominant parties that have really dominated the Fourth Republic, NDC, MPP, this is the first time we're having a female running mate. That's a major selling point. And you know, the rank and file, they love bragging rights. It's just like supporters of our favorite football teams.
But will bragging rights win you elections, though?
It's inspirational. It's inspirational. It gives you that spring in your steps, that oomph. It gets you, to commit, go the extra mile. And that's what such historic nominations do. I mean, it's just like when President Obama emerged, the first black Democratic candidate, people went out of their way to go all out. Look, we want to make history. We are determined to make history. So people were driven. There is something that historic candidates do for a campaign. And that is what Professor Jane Opoku-Agyeman is going to do for us. And already it has started. People are saying, look, we want it to be in our lifetime. We want to be the party that has produced the first female vice president for the Republic of Ghana. And that is such a magnetic force. It's such an energizing message. And I can tell you, Evans, that the rank and file are really fired up.
My question on the back of that, you're saying to me that the NDC's foot soldier in Bunkurugu Yoyo tonight is thinking, oh goodness, we've made history, and so I am galvanized and I'm going to get my other colleagues to show up and register and vote on December 7th because I have a history, a historical record to hang on to? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Because he has bragging rights. He can tease his opponent and say, look, we've scored another first. You guys, didn't think about it. The best we had was that Haji Alima Mahama was once considered, but the MPP couldn't, be bold enough to pursue change and to shatter this glass ceiling. We have done it in the NDC, and so we are fired up. We are
okay. So I mean, I want to hear from you. Well, what you make of that? I mean, we've had many reasons offered for why she's the best choice for the NDC. I'm bringing in right now my colleagues Kojoyank Singh, Winston with the political desk, Elting Brobe as well, as we dig into this with some analysis of our own. Kojo, can you hear me? Kojo, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can. I hope you can hear me.
I can hear loud and clear. Could you join us via Zoom? Winston is on the telephone line. Hello, Winston.
Hi, Evans.
Great, and Elting is already with me here. Let me hear the verdict from you first, the two of you. I mean, Winston first. I don't know if you heard Okujeto Ablakwa, and then I don't know if you also heard the Deputy General Secretary, Peter Tukuno, who also confirmed to us tonight that Jane Opoku-Agyeman has been a party member for 7 years only. In fact, the word he used was that he's recently become a member of the party, and he brought on to 7 years. The question to you, Winston, is she the man to help John Mahama deliver victory?
Well, so Evans, you have to look at it from 2 points of view. Of course, in selecting a running mate, you're looking at the person's ability to complement the flag bearer, and also the person's ability to govern and electability, because every presidential candidate would want to ensure that he or she is able to win an election. Now, if you're looking at Nana and what Samuel talks about, as Okujeto Ablakwa talks about, is breaking the glass ceiling. That's very important because you see, there is a certain constituency, and I start my analysis always from the fact that in 2008, during the time of President Mills and the then candidate Akufo-Addo, one of the major factors at the time was a lot of people talking about they wanting a female running mate. But let's put that aside. This is a woman who is very strong-willed, and I have an opportunity of studying under her. She comes to the team, or she brings to the team, one who is very principled, one who doesn't have a lot of baggage, quote unquote, to Evans. Because you see, the NDC in making this decision was also considered all the potential running mates. And I mean, how they could complement the John Mahama ticket. Mind you, prior to election 2018 of the NDC presidential primaries, there were a lot of talks about Mahama and the baggage he carried. So if I'm talking about electability and I'm talking about somebody who can complement the candidate, you do not put together somebody who also has a baggage. And so you're having a Nana Opoku-Agyeman who does not have that baggage that others seemingly have. And so for me, I sincerely would say that, look, this is somebody I mean, contrary to the fact that she's not well known within hardcore body politic, but she comes in with a lot, and she comes in with one that you can't throw a lot of mud at.
Okay, so let me push you again. Final verdict, and remember, there's going to be a show that we're going to start shortly called The Verdict. So this is the test run. This is a test run for that show. So your verdict is this is the right person to help Mahama deliver victory.
Well, this is the right person to complement Mahama
to deliver victory.
I do not know what the electorate would say, but this is the right person to complement Mahama.
If this is a test run for The Verdict, they tell I'm in trouble. let me bring in Kojo. Same question.
Yeah.
Is this the right person to partner John Mahama to deliver victory? Remember, that is the only reason why they are in politics, is to win and govern and get power.
Yeah. Hopefully, I might be a bit more helpful for you, because what I'll do is I'll tell you the pros and cons here. And I'm in a unique position, just like Winston, who had the opportunity to study under the good professor. I have known her since I was a toddler, because I grew up on the University of Cape Coast campus, where she, of course, had most of her career. And Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman is a very, very fascinating personality. So here are the pros and cons, if you will. In terms of the pros, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, even though she has been a minister under former President Mahama, is still an unknown political entity. It's quite accurate. All of those who are saying that she is fairly new to politics are quite accurate. Her career has been as a technocrat. She was brought into the party as a technocrat. She was appointed into government because of her reputation and her profession as a technocrat. She was brought in as a person who had administered a university, and she came and administered the education sector. That is a pro. The fact that she's an unknown entity is a pro, because she has a sort of amorphous character that can be used to mold her into anything the party needs her to be. Now, bear in mind, as a running mate, you need to be someone who complements the product that the party is putting out. The product that the NDC is putting out is John Mahama. What sort of product is that? That is someone who is telling the voters to choose a one-term president. That's the product, a one-term president. A one-term president who has already had the opportunity to run this country. So he has a track record that people are going to judge him on. He's coming back for only one term, and they need somebody who is flexible enough in personality to be whatever they need her to be as a complement to John Mahama. So, for example, because people don't know her political background, her view on everything will be new. Her view on COVID-19 and the state management of it is going to be new. Her view on free SHS is going to be new. Her view on the city, on every single thing that is going to come up in this campaign, is going to be new, and that is refreshing. It's a secret weapon for somebody like John Mahama. If he had gone for someone who is an already known entity, he might have had some difficulty, because this would be someone coming with baggage, someone coming with a history and a record that is already known, and whatever they say, they will be referred to their political record, and that may or may not work in their favor. This is a clean slate. It's an advantage. On the side of the cons, I would say that this is somebody who is now expected to, if they win the ticket, expected to run the economic management team. Is Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman the natural choice? When someone imagines somebody running the economic management team, would Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman be the one you think of first? You also have to think about the fact that as she's coming in as a running mate for a one-term president, people will look at her and wonder whether this is the future of the NDC. Is Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman going to be the first female president after John Mahama finishes his one term? People will look at her and ask that question, and the answer might not be too clear for several reasons. First of all, she is new to politics. Secondly, she has an age that may be restrictive when you think about how long she can remain in the political game. Whether Ghanaians will have an appetite for a younger person by the time John Mahama, if he wins the next election, by the time his term is over, whether people will be interested in a younger person taking over. These are things that might not work in her favor. when people are considering her as as the running mate to the top. So my verdict, at the end of it.
I can't wait.
I think the NDC has made the right choice out of the two people available to them. Out of Dr. Dufour and Professor Jane Opoku-Agyeman, they picked the right choice. The amorphous nature, the flexibility of her unknown entity might just work in their favor as compared to a known entity like Dr. Dufour, who comes with his own baggage, not least of which is a court case still pending.
Okay, well, so the two of them. So I both of you thumbs up for Jane, and that's and there's more on this on the morning show, by the way, in the morning. Elton, you have 1 minute just to make your verdict, deliver your verdict. Your verdict is different from the two, right?
Well, because Evans, my question, I have questions. Is Bawumia the standard, and will the professor be able to match up to that standard? Is the professor connected to the grassroots of the NDC? Will she be able to connect with the grassroots of the NDC? How will she be able to complement the flag bearer? If, as you take you back to 1992, former President Rawlings decided to go for Koen Kensenaka, that was about the Progressive Alliance. It didn't work. Now, when Professor Mills came on the scene, his first choice was Alhaji Momuni Bawumia. It didn't work. In and out politician. Then he went in for the current special prosecutor, also in and out politician, but he was seen more as an elitist. It didn't work. John Mahama came in, and then it was the late vice president. We heard the stories and the fact that working relationship, So, Evan, how is this going to work? And is it going to work in the favor of the NDC, or is this going to be a ticket for photo opportunity? These are the questions that people are going. But key amongst them is how he connects with the grassroots of the party, how he's able to, if Bawumia is a standard, how is he able to match up to that standard?
Well, very interesting questions, and so many. And there are those who believe, just like Kojo and Winsing have said, that the fact that she is a non-core politician, nobody knows her, could actually play to her advantage. And that there's a sense that, voters are now embracing non-core individuals. And a few of them, Sami Battles, for example, asks us a few questions. Will she appeal to new voters? Will people see her as less of a politician and therefore more believable and acceptable? Right? Key questions that people will ask. These are very interesting questions. George Afe is joining with business. But before that, though, the MPP, they didn't want to be left out of this. And so they called the press conference a short while ago. And as you can expect, it took some serious punches at John Mahama for making this particular choice. Listen to the party's communications director, Yababi Asamoah.
To congratulate the party and their flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, on the choice of Joy997FM, the former Minister for Education under the previous NDC administration, as the running mate to Mr. John Mahama as the 2020 elections inch closer. It has certainly taken a long time for the selection to be done, but as the saying goes, better late than never, and we wish to congratulate the NDC and Mr. Mahama for finally managing to pick a running mate. We extend our congratulations to the Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman, and on her selection, we ask that she indeed gets ready for the fire ahead. Having congratulated her, we believe it is important to remind all of us what Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman brings to the John Mahama ticket. In an ideal world, one of the strongest things going for the selection of a good professor would have been that she is a woman, and this would be met with a lot of enthusiasm. Unfortunately, Professor Opoku-Agyeman hardly meets the expectations of someone who has a track record of fighting for women or their welfare. Luckily for all of us, Joy997FM Opoku-Agyeman is not new to Ghana politics, and it's her performance during her period as a political appointee that we are going to continue referring to from now on in. We need not remind anybody that it was during her tenure that training teachers' allowances were scraped. It was done without paying any heed to the many appeals to reconsider the decision. Indeed, it was one of the things she was proud to have done, scraping teacher allowances. That's training allowance. Teachers were the hardest hit when Nana Opoku-Agyeman was at the helm of affairs at the Education Ministry. Apart from their transportation allowances not being paid, Nana Opoku-Agyeman also introduced the practice of teachers working for 2 years without being paid and then being restricted to only 3 months back pay, no matter how long or how hard they had worked. This leave women treatment meted out to Ghanaian teachers at the time was the brainchild of Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman, the then Minister for Education.
So that is the MPP stake. I mean, and you asked the question. I mean, if the point saying that she's a bad choice. I mean, but if this is a bad choice, then she should be happy. I mean, the MPP should be happy that the decision. What have they got to say about this? Of course, there's a lot happening today that on the back of this that the MPP wants to have their say on. They want to join me on PMS. There's going to be interrogating the MPP on why they felt the need to also jump in and make their pronouncement on this. But a number of you have joined us with your thoughts on our WhatsApp pages. This one from Keita says, if voting for the 2 people who cancelled that teacher trainee allowance again to come to power, then let me rather vote for Nana again. This one, Walanyo in Keita says, Mahama just delivered to the MPP a 3rd term in governance come 2024. This one says, hi Evans, in fact, I'm really happy for NDC. The choice of a woman as running mate is a big plus to winning the 2020 elections. As you read her profile, she really bringing a lot to this country. I support NDC for this particular reason. And this is from Igwe from Teshi. This is I congratulate JM for choosing this running mate to see the journey to that will win to nowhere as a flag bearer of the biggest opposition party. So mixed reactions there. George Afe has been smiling all along. I wonder what her thoughts are. But George, what do you have in the headlines?
Well, Evans,
you expect me to ask yourself. But it's okay, I'm sparing you that. Tell me what you have in the headlines.
Well, coming up in business, commodity research firm Isoko forecast mixed outlook for prices of foodstuffs in the coming weeks. And the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers highlight a separate forex pricing mechanism for importers of petroleum products as the surest way of stabilizing fuel prices in the coming weeks. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials. And First National Bank, we are the bank that understands your business. First National Bank, how can we help you? And there has been 25 years of acting as a reference point for business and financial news in the country.
So everyone says I'm a Kosia filler, but it's not like I'm nosy or go out to find out the latest filler. It's just that I get 50 megabytes of data free after paying for only the first minute of every call. And so I just keep discovering stuff minute after minute. That's how come I was minding my business, scrolling through my timeline, and I found out Coco has a new baby. Oh, and lastly, I learned Ken won the lottery. You see, Ken is my brother's friend. So hello, look who's about to roll with the rich and famous.
Enjoy even more value with MTN Free After One. You only pay for the first minute of your call on MTN Free After One, and the rest is free. Plus, you enjoy free 50 megabytes worth of data to browse your favorite sites. Compare where, compare there. So dial *315# to sign up. We pay for you everywhere you go. Terms and conditions apply.
But the best, we stay above the rest. More quality, more affordability. Kingdom Books and Stationery. Everybody's going to the one and only shop where customer satisfaction is a guarantee. Kingdom Books and Stationery.
Oh yes, with our 30 days credit facility with no interest charge, free delivery services, and our free consultation on setting up your office, Kingdom Books and Stationery is unmatched in our delivery of quality and affordable office essentials, equipment, and furniture.
Experience world-class customer service in all our branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Takoradi.
Call us on 0302-764-101
or visit our website at www.kingdomgh.com.
Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all office essentials and stationery. Terms and conditions apply.
We know it's important to create a productive and supportive working environment by investing in your employees' health. With a leading international track record, Apex Health Insurance is regulated and licensed by the National Health Insurance Authority to provide medical insurance services to institutional clients, families, and individuals. Apex Student Package and International Medical Solutions are all here to cushion you. Visit Apex Health Insurance Office at Zion House, Boundary Road, Shiashi, or call
0501-683-914
or 0232 000-015. In Kumasi, we are located opposite Prempeh College, Sofo Line, and in Takrady, Apex Health, your preferred health insurer.
It is time, yes. It's time again for each and every Ghanaian above 18 years to register to be able to vote. Let's all come out in our numbers in accordance with the protocols established in this COVID-19 era by the Electoral Commission to register and continue to vote for leaders who will positively reshape our country's destiny. Remember, it's 4 more for Nana. It begins with your registration today. You cannot vote unless you are eligible, and the only way is to get registered.
Joy 99.7 FM.
You're welcome back to Business on News 9. Now, commodity research firm Isoko is forecasting a mixed outlook for prices of foodstuffs in the coming weeks. Now, this was captured in the June Commodity Index report released by Isoko. The report showed that for the month of June, there were some significant increase in prices, while others like tomatoes went down significantly. Let's hear from the content manager at Isoko that he has been explaining to us what actually driving prices of foodstuffs in the coming weeks.
We are getting closer to period where most of the crops that were planted will be harvested, and so the old stock will be brought onto the market, and then some have also started harvesting the early maturing ones, which will also be brought to the market. And so that is going to account for the decrease in prices for a lot of the commodities that will be traded in the month of July.
And this is going to cut across all commodities and foodstuffs, right?
Yes.
Apart from the harvest, are there any other policies that have contributed to oversupply? Let me put that in quote that we are seeing on the market.
So let's also not forget that planting for food and job is also still in force, and so production, the government is also trying year on year to increase production, and so that might also contribute to the volumes that are being planted and then being harvested onto the market.
Francis Danso is the content manager at commodity research firm Isoko. Now, government has expressed its commitment to development of small businesses in the country. Deputy Minister of Finance Charles Dubois said this at the launch of the ABSA startup banking model here in Accra. He said as a government they are committed to supporting, also partner with some private firms like ABSA to drive this initiative.
Over the last couple of years, the consistency with which ABSA has shown commitment in supporting new businesses in the SME sector has been impressive. The new solution being launched today, ABSA Startup Banking, is just one more testament of ABSA's commitment to small and medium businesses in Ghana. With over 100,000 students graduating from our tertiary institutions annually, it is fundamental that all key stakeholders provide support in creating an enabling environment that supports entrepreneurship, lowers the barrier to entry, and that leads to job creation. ABSA Startup Banking is a bold intervention that offers free banking to startups in addition to providing them with visibility, market access, and mentorship, amongst others.
And that's the Deputy Minister of Finance, Charles Dubois. According to ABSA, the module will actually provide about 500,000 Ghana cedis of unsecured loan to small businesses. Now, the bulk oil storage and transportation company BOSS is asking all its clients and business partners to direct requests and transactions to their various online platforms. Now, this was after it had to shut down its Jolo head office because 46 of its staff actually tested positive for that is COVID-19 after a mass testing exercise. According to the firm, it is however taking the measures to ensure that the office building is actually safe as it was fumigated as well. Now, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers is insisting that having a fixed or a separate forex pricing mechanism for importers of petroleum products might be the surest way of helping stabilize food prices, fuel prices. Now, this is coming at a time when prices of petroleum products are expected to go up again in the coming days, while drivers are also pushing for an increase in transport fares. Executive Secretary of the Chamber, Duncan Amwa, says that examples also have shown that this might be the best way to go to deal with this challenge.
Indeed, if the Bank of Ghana can go out there to trade forex every now and then, what you would call the dollar auction, they should be able to make some provision or space for petroleum importers to be able to get a certain fixed FX rate every quarter, so that once they are able to be able to forecast what their FX rates are to pay their suppliers, then Ghanaian consumers would not necessarily need to be charged any additional money on their petroleum prices at the pumps. These things are quite doable and we think it should be done.
Duncan Amwa is the Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers. Now, more major hospitality outlets are opening up their full services to the public as they help to manage the negative impact of the COVID-19 on their operations. The latest is the Aqua Safari Resort has actually opened a service to the public, according to the firm. Now, it has actually put in place measures to ensure that only those who actually make pre-booking are allowed into their facilities. Also assure the public that it's actually fully compliant with WHO's health protocols to ensure that everyone that comes to the facility is protected. And that's all for business on Newsnight.
Hello.
Why you bed?
It's 5 a.m. Of course I bed. Lockdown.
Guy, some series I watch for Netflix. Too much.
You woke up to comment.
Which can't wake up? I've been watching from last night too.
you have data, eh?
Vodafone Adaroma. The too much bundles now be too much. See, Jock, make an ad screen after the Skype call, then buy you guys a story.
Too much data is now double the data at the same price, so you can stay home and stay connected on Vodafone with too much data for the day and too much bonus from midnight till 4 a.m. That's double Ankasa. Terms and conditions apply. Dial *700#. Subscribe now. Ready?
Hey, I say, mix the cement in correct proportional.
Hey, contractor.
Hey, Baganye, what's your soul?
Yeah, Malande. Sorry, I say. When you attend the year of return, Ankasa. Hey, contractor. A Danya wasting ye. Hey, what was wrong with me feeling too much?
Who project here? My friend gas them from top to down. If you are a gas them.
Hey, yes, solid pa.
Hey, you see gas them, man. And for soup, no one do. On your quality, no question. And for gas them cement, biara. I will cook a crab bee. Over 5,000 plus communities. And a gas them. I donations. SEC schools, I built the clinic. Now, what a packaging now. What's Shadara and environmentally friendly?
Never compromise on quality. Choose the value Gassam offers you always. Gassam, the nation builder.
It is time. Yes, it's time again for each and every Ghanaian above 18 years to register to be able to vote. Let all come out in our numbers in accordance with the protocols established in this COVID-19 era by the Electoral Commission to register and continue to vote for leaders who will positively reshape our country's destiny. Remember, it's 4 more for Nana. It begins with your registration today. You cannot vote unless you are eligible, and the only way is to get registered.
It's all live here on Newsnight. It's on Joy997 FM. Now to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital now, where they've suspended urgent cases for 2 weeks following a surge in COVID-19 infections among staff working in the surgical areas. Now, a leaked memo from the hospital states that the action was necessitated because of self-isolation of the majority of staff there. Chief Executive Officer of the Premier Hospital, Dr. Daniel Asari, tells Joy News 91 staff have been exposed to COVID-19. Elton Brobe has more, joins me in the studio. Elton, what else does this memo say?
So, Evans, this is coming from the Director of Medical Affairs and is addressed to department heads. And it says that there has been a recent surge of COVID-19 infections among staff working in the surgical area. It has necessitated self-isolation in the majority of these staff. Hence, a decision has been taken to suspend all urgent cases for 2 weeks. All emergency cases will resume as before. Now, we have another one coming from the Ghana Health Service, and this one says that the hospital administration has decided, and this is Kolebu Teaching Hospital, to suspend non-emergency surgical cases for the next 2 weeks. This is necessitated by the fact that some staff have been infected with COVID-19. This measure is therefore to protect our clients and the rest of the staff who are still at post and providing care to patients. The suspension would also enable us reorganize ourselves for the resumption of regular services. Only dire emergencies will be attended to within this period. We therefore request sister health facilities to refer only dire surgical emergencies, surgery, ENT, to the Kolebus during the suspension period. Other parts of the hospital are still in operation. This is coming from the Ghana Health Service.
I mean, the implications of this pretty dire. We've been speaking to the head of communications at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Mustafa Salifu.
A number of our staff members have been infected with COVID-19, and as a result of that, the hospital management decided to suspend non-emergency and urgent cases for the next 2 weeks. There are reasons for this. One is to protect our clients and patients, and then two, to also protect the rest of staff who are still at post and then providing care to patients.
How many of your staff have been infected of COVID-19?
As of last week, we have about 91 staff members who are infected with the disease, and then we are still working, but within the circumstances, we thought it wise to scale back so that we will not expose our patients, and the other reason for which we were here.
Did you say 91?
Yeah, 91, yes.
And this latest one, which has informed the decision to suspend non-emergency services, how many are we looking at?
It's not the latest. We are looking at the cumulative figures that we have received, and that is why we are taking this decision. We have staff who are critical to the care that we provide, particularly the surgical interventions that we do in the hospital, and if a good number of them are exposed, it is only fair and proper for us to scale back and use those who are not infected to still provide the care to the dire emergencies. So we are calling on sister hospitals not to refer the non-emergency and urgent cases. They should try and then refer to other appropriately equipped facilities within the metropolis to handle that whilst we observe this period of suspension for the next 2 weeks.
So over the period, that is by end of June, you had 91 of your workers infected with the virus, correct?
Yes, as at last week.
How many have been asked to go into quarantine? I'm sure you did contact tracing. So out of this 91, we know the 91 for sure they are on isolation. How many have been asked to go on quarantine?
When you are affected, out of this 91, remember some of them have been treated and discharged and are back to work
on her front desk.
Now, the World Health Organization has today revealed Ghana is one of the countries driving the increase in COVID-19 cases in Africa. According to the WHO, 190,000 people are expected to die from the disease on the continent if the risk of exposure from persons who are infected in those who are not is not curtailed. The WHO's Technical Regional Officer for Africa, Dr. Mary Stephen, has been explaining why this is worrying in a virtual health forum on COVID-19 on Prime Morning on the Joy Prime channel.
In Africa, 10 countries are driving this outbreak, and of course we know that South Africa is reporting the highest number of cases, but Nigeria and Ghana are also part of these 10 countries. And if we don't ramp up our public health and those physical measures, we might continue to see additional number of cases on the continent. So we need to ramp up all the capacities for dictation, testing, isolation, treatment, and contact tracing, including the preventive measures by the community. So we all have a personal responsibility in.
I want to bring in Dr. Kwame Sedu Sapon, a CDD fellow, joins us on the telephone line right now. Mr. Sedu Sapon, so the WHO says we are one of 10 countries driving cases in Africa, but is it because we are very efficient at testing more than many other countries?
No, it's not about efficiency of testing. It's about the fact that there's significant community spread. I have said this on a number of occasions, on a number of Joy stations, that if you have a huge fish pond with no fish in it, you can throw your net wide and repeatedly with the best will in the world. You're not going to find any fish. That you find fish means that there is fish in the pond. The more fish you find means that the fish are giving birth, they are reproducing. Likewise, if you're dealing with a pandemic, if you are casting your net and you're finding more infections, then it means there's community spread. Indeed, the WHO says that if you have out of your testing more than 5% positives, then you are not testing enough. If you look at the last week, Ghana, the positivity ratio for the last week of testing was 15%. Within the general surveillance, it was 19%. And that accounts for the exposure that our our health workers are getting. So it is not really accurate to say that we are testing more, we are finding more. It's rather accurate to say we are testing more and we are finding more because there's significant community spread. If you don't add the last bit, then you adulterate the whole conversation.
I'm grateful for clearing that up for me. And that's it for News Night tonight. You want to join me on PM Express as we bring together a crack team of analysts, the political figures, both from the NDC and from the MPP, to further dissect the naming of Professor Joy997FM as running mate to John Dramani Mahama. I leave you with Akwabwa Jr., who is on the spotlight today.
Gladstone Kwabena Akwabwa Jr., known by his stage name as Akwabwa Jr., is a Ghanaian multi-talented singer, songwriter, instrumentalist, and producer from Mampong, Beposo.
From church, I learned how to sing from church. I learned how to play the keyboard from church. I was part of the choir, and then I came back to Accra. I came to join a band called Joyful Saints. Okay. By then, and the quality. My bro.
Kwabwa Jr. launched his music career in 2013, and a year later released his first official single, I Do Love You, which enjoyed massive airplay across the country and other international platforms.
You are the only one, you are I want to be with you forever.
The talented artist, who in April 2010 won Songwriter of the Year at the 11th edition of the Ghana Music Awards, wrote Kofi Saponsa Yeyinyom, which became an instant hit. He wrote Da Keda for Becca, which also became a massive hit and won awards too.
Best music. Joy997FM. Keep this frequency clear.
Hyde from West Legon. That's a nice message. It says, greetings. Kind regards from my beloved wife to you. We miss you so dearly. She can't wait to hear your favorite intro and her favorite song, DL. Mr. and Mrs. Hyde, good evening. Alex Robertson, good evening. Kukua Ando Robertson of Achimota School, good evening to you. Ajwa Asari, good evening. Let's quickly run through this roll call list. That's one almighty roll call list. Akwesi Ado in Kaswa, I see you there. Erama, I see you there. PA for Nana Frakuma. Bright Faculty, I see you. Erama in Tashi, I see you. Tony Awuvi, I see you. Mami Ajua from West Hills, there you are. Teresa from Tema, I see you. Good evening. Dunyami Eben Bachona, there you are. Papa Ansa, how's Teshi doing? Udote. My favorite name. Osei Sasu from Kofodia. Good evening. Henry Tamante from Audome. Sebastian in Teshi Camp 2. Nana, I'm waiting for my husband to join me. Listen, Mr. Tio Kwashi, come quickly from Mimi. Mr. Tio Kwashi, hurry up. That's my brother Joseph Ajimai, Community 9 Tema. Because I see you there. Frederick Frimpong Bafi, OUD Estate. Abusia Jackson, all the way in Cape Coast. Elizabeth is in Adringano. Amma Santua is in Def Traco, Community 25. Gershon Awudi. Yogi is in Canada. Yogi, greetings to the family. Jerry Mozilla, Happy birthday to you. Yes, happy birthday to Doreen too. Past or not is still happy. Salom is in Dowenya. Salom, how are you? Lennox is in Ashariboche. Roll call is about to end. Dr. Eugene Dodway, thanks for joining us. Lawyer Martin Pebu, you're in the mail. Sham Bros Barbecue, you tuned in. Promises in Pantine. Ralph and Frida and Dansuman. Butler, good evening from Madenta. Mauli Heto, good evening. Abigail Odro Sign, regular listener from Gold Temazon. Playtime is over. Folks, until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Say that again. Well, folks, I said until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Hello and welcome to the most opinionated hour on radio and the nation's thought-provoking hour. I am Nana Nsakwa the Fourth, Chief of the Little Republic of Akwemo Edumasa. Welcome to another edition of That's My Opinion. This is the nation's favorite radio talk show. So I guess, it's not far if I could say I'm the favorite radio talk show host, isn't it? If it's a show, then the host should be alongside. Well, folks, this is a Monday ritual made possible by Joy997 FM. 25 years of media excellence and still counting our blessings. Thanks to you who tune in and give us your time. Our topic today, folks, is too big for one show, but I will try my best. On-air contributions to national development. Yep, on-air contribution to national development. Now, let me start by borrowing the work of Dr. Nana Opong, a lawyer. And he wrote a thesis called the symphonic theory of intelligence. The symphonic theory of intelligence, creating the smart nation by Dr. Nana Opong, who is also a lawyer and a scientist. Very strange combination. But he says, the greatness of a nation depends on the number of wise rulers and intelligent people pursuing its agenda. Creativity, good laws, useful discoveries, freedom, justice, peace, and prosperity can only come from intelligent people. Wisdom and intelligence, however, are not given at birth. They are founded on collective works over generations. Intelligent people are those who are able to take consistently and sufficiently from nature or from others and are able to use same for their benefit. Slow people, on the other hand, are those at the mercy of nature and subject to manipulation by others, because intelligence affects resource preservation, use, and the renewal. Intelligence is far more important ingredient for personal intelligence. Is a far more ingredient for personal and national development than natural resources. The resources of fools will either be wasted or would be taken by the wise freely or cheaply. Folks, I agree with this assertion very much. In Akan, they will say Yasuma Obajansafo Yansuma na Montinting, meaning we send the one who is wise and not necessarily the one who's got long legs. Folks, the media, or on air as I've couched it, this fraternity, folks, sets the nation's agenda. They decide what we talk about, they decide what we think about, and even how we think about what we want to think about. It forms a major part of our environment. And that's how I want us just to leave this there. Just picture this and then let's leave it there. I'm saying the media is a great tool that sets a nation's agenda. They tell us what to think about, how to think about, when to think about it, and how to even react to whatever it is that we are thinking about. So let's leave it there. We'll come back to it. Folks, the other aspect that we should pay attention to is the youth of the nation. At any particular time, common sense tells us that they are the future. And therefore, before they inherit their land, they need to be filled with pride, patriotism, a great sense of belonging, and the answer to the question, will you die for this land? They must have the answer to that question. Before you hand over any inheritance to them, before you hand over the country to them, they should be able to answer, will you die defending Ghana? Before you give them, they should have the answer, either yes or no. Many years ago, folks, this was done through storytelling about how they came, how a group of people came to settle wherever it is that they are, the battles they won and lost, the heroes who stood up for them, and folk songs that spoke about events in their past. And they would gather around and listen to build their pride and confidence and their sense of belonging. A cautious effort was made to pass on the history of the land to the young. They were made to participate in all traditional ceremonies so that they will also learn. Whatever was the main occupation on the land, was taught to them and was passed over to them, and this guaranteed their future and sustainability. Just like the symphonic theory of intelligence, the whole society made sure that there was positive energy so that the children growing up will grasp it. There was a cautious effort to raise the intellect of a community, a village, a town, or the people. Folks, but populations have grown. Foreign cultures have been copied, and the pace with which things are changing is phenomenal. So even at the best of times, things can be tough. Today, we can't gather around the big tree to learn about our history. so that we can also be proud and confident. It will have to be in a school, in a book, on air, and I'm using on air again as in the general media. A good tool to replace the gathering round the big tree. A brilliant tool for mass education. Folks, now I want to thank the new channels and for the innovation that are teaching subjects that will be taught in schools, so kids can sit there and learn about their Pythagoras theories and learn about agric and mixed cropping. You can sit in front of your TV and learn that, and I think it's a very positive thing, and they're doing well. However, I am concerned, and this is the general outlook, what we are churning out on air, TV, radio, online. Maybe even if I can add the papers. But it starts from 6 a.m. in the morning after the news. It's as though someone just blew the whistle. One negative story after the other. Politicians. Oh my God. Folks. Oh my days. Folks, you have one swearing to Muhammad that the thing is white, and the other one swearing to Jesus that the thing is black. Folks, unconsciously teaching young ones that you can lie at any level in life. These are people holding high office, representing us, and they spew so much negatives. Sometimes even the mature and educated ones get confused as to which one is the truth. And it's us. Now, see, it's just once in a while thing. Folks, it's so frequent that today we can just say, oh, it's normal. And I think it's frightening. I think it's frightening that we can say it's normal when two people can't sit down and for the nation's sake agree to say that no, this is right or that is wrong. But let's move on. As for TV, I think the TV fraternity owes us an apology. Even though not all are guilty, but I think just too many are letting us down. Folks, children are home because of COVID-19 as usual. One form of entertainment today is just picking up a remote and flicking a TV. Unlike our days when you had to wait for 5 o'clock, before the TV comes on, and it was, Tuesdays was adult education in Dagbani would start, and you had no choice but to sit down and learn something. But I think they owe us an apology. Just too many are letting us down. Folks, children are home, as I said. And yes, you know where I'm going with this, right? I just can't find the words to explain it. Maybe I should use this opportunity to rather ask why. Folks, the material being shown on our televisions, how are we ever going to build that wise generation to make sure that their natural resources will not be taken away from them because they become fools? But let me ask, folks, the ladies, the day in Ghana, Mami Ajua from West Hills Mall, Jifa from Japan, Efua Yeb in Osu, all the good ladies that are tuning. There's many of you. Why should girls in music videos wear only their underwear while the boys are fully clothed? Is it a law, a trend, a fashion, a culture? It's the big why. Provocative dancing, suggestive dancing, pelvic thrusting with their backside to the camera so you can see things. And the time I'm talking about, folks, 11 a.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., all day, right in the middle of the day, when children are home because they couldn't go to school for obvious reasons. So if not, then you have dozens and dozens of funny preachers on TV saying that they're going to charm money for you, ridiculous things. They will get you little numbers. And some are constantly exercising demons. It's like any time they come on the TV, there's a woman spinning because it's being exorcised from some demon. Channel after channel. And to tell you the truth, folks, I am worried. Folks, I am worried. If indeed intelligence is picked from our environment and that children are born empty and have to soak up all these things, then I'm worried. Is it that those managing the TV station just don't care, or they are not aware of its implications? That's why I'm asking. Why? Why? What's on-air contribution to national development? A very important question to be answered, because if you skip the music videos and the funny pastors, folks, you are left with Indians or Spanish people. Are we going or are we coming? And if you compare the material on air, it may reflect the society we are bringing. Very vain, material-oriented, get-rich-quick, anti-African culture, and literally, folks, a whole generation, good number, swimming just in a pool of ignorance. And yet, they are the ones to inherit Ghana. Folks, online. As for online, I tell you what, even the bravest of the brave, I am very afraid of online. Oh yes, I'm scared of online. My God, online, Lord have mercy. They would crucify you with one simple headline. One simple headline. And the funny thing is, you can have a very innocent headline like the president has promised a year of roads. Just that. Folks, don't read the story. Just go down to the comments. And I always ask, are these people genuinely angry or just trying to have a political jab? The venom, the rage, the language. Scary, sweet. It's very, very scary. And it's just like pages and pages of insult and rage and venom. Is that a true reflection of the society, or is it just one person who's got many aliases typing things? Because if it is, then we must find out why we are bringing such an angry society. But folks, that's aside. The journalists too, twisted headlines, misinterpretation. Journalists have become so desperate for relevance and fame, and the easy way for them is to sensationalize. So they twist the headlines. And our folks too, many of them don't read the story. They just go to the headline and straight to comments. Straight to comments based on the headline they read. Cross-checking. No, that's not even in the dictionary. Forget about cross-checking. Let me skip cross-checking because then we'll be cross-checking. Folks, there's a lot of vanity, pretentious lifestyle being forced down these youth. The young ones, through what they absorb from on-air contact, where they only see their worth through material possessions and objectifying themselves. Something must be done, folks. And I'm saying that all it will take, folks, is fellow Ghanaians. All it will take is fellow Ghanaians. From tomorrow, any music video where people are not well dressed or fully covered can't be aired. Churches promoting gambling and demon exorcism cannot be aired. And trust me, that's all it will take. I'm telling you, that's all it will take. Just one line of fellow Ghanaians, and we shall set the youth on the right path. Now bear in mind that even if we start correcting it from today, it's going to take many, many years for it to even out. But we have to start. Now I wanted to go to how it is that the media handled COVID-19 pandemic, but if I add that to this, maybe I'll be stealing too much of your time, so permit me to skip that. But folks, once again I am asking Ghana that as of today, folks, 6th of July, the year 2020, there's not a single film on Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. A good, high quality film. We don't even have a bad one anyway, but I'm talking about a good quality film that we can leave for generations after us to be inspired that once upon a time, people who were Ghanaians stood up and fought for us. Folks, it really tells who we are. That, the greatest of the greats, the likes of all the big boys that you could tell, man, I'm sure Mandela has about 8 movies now. There's about 8 versions of Mandela now, all big actors, playing Mandela. And all these Mandelas and all these big names from became who they are because they were taught by the great Nkrumah. And yet still, folks, Ghana, CAT, we haven't been able to produce one. Kowansa is there, KSM is there, Dr. Kwesi Ansan is there. They are big, good filmmakers alive today. And now I'm saying that they should go into the consolidated fund, take a big wad of money, and tell them to give me 3 versions of Nkrumah. How he was in Nkrofo before he went to America, his life is in America, when he came, how he fought, and maybe the 4th one is his time as president. Because it is an indictment. Because nations are built upon what they feed their children. Blow up your heroes, exaggerate your victories, tell their stories, so that people watch and say, I want to be like him. I also want to save Ghana. If there's ever going to be another independence, I want to be the Nkrumah. But we haven't got one. And if we haven't got one from Nkrumah, how dare do I even go to JB Dankwa or Pauli or Tetekwashi? Then as for them, who can watch them cry? The first president ever, we haven't done anything. Who else? But these are the on-air contribution to the nation's development. Because folks, you see, you can build a gutter from here to Kumasi. If you don't train the people to know that the gutter is a drain, they will use it as a boiler or rubbish dump. You can build a highway from Accra to Kumasi. If you don't train the people, they will think it's a market, and therefore they will come and put the market store by the road. And so the DC, also wanting to stay in office, will put ramps on the road so you can slow down and buy tomatoes. And that's the contribution of One Air to nation's development. It should not be taken lightly. Folks, it should not be taken lightly, because we can all not sit under the tree again. We can't sit under the tree again. But yet still, people should be inspired, people should be encouraged, people should be built with confidence. People should not walk across the desert and jump into the Mediterranean to try their luck. But why would they do that if they don't even know where they belong? I mean, I think one of the biggest ironies is to leave Ghana to go to Libya for greener pastures. I mean, does it get any greener than Ghana? But yes, that's it. So today, folks, I am asking, based on the above, what has been the on-air contribution to this nation's development? What has been the on-air contribution to this nation's development? Perpetual Mensa says, hello Nana, I hope you're doing good. This is on Facebook Live, man. Frederick Mfum watching live on Facebook, Nana. And Nana Moa says, listening live for the first time. Big ups. Hey, Nana Moa, you've been on air for nearly 8 years old. So next Monday you should tune in. Mami Odami Fierson, Nana, I think they are not thinking deep into the future. I'm also scared. Wise and healthy food for thought. Constant ACW. note 0302216541. Mr. Victor Herman, Phytotech CEO, thanks for joining us. Hello, who's my first caller?
Nana, good evening.
Good evening.
This is Edward calling from Kaswa, Millennium City.
Edward, let me hear you.
Nana, I am very, very worried as in how we are trying to nurture our future generation. I don't know whether today you saw me, that is why you brought this topic. In fact, Nana, I was walking around with my junior brother and I saw a certain small girl wearing a dress, and I was using the girl as in, I was describing the girl as in, oh, this person is a bad person. My junior brother told me that, Abba, our senior sister used to wear this dress. I kept quiet because I was afraid to continue. Why am I saying this? Some years ago, when you wear a certain dress, it depicts who you are. But because of our television and the radios, what they are doing on it, it has become something fashionable that everybody can portray or can go into it and take it. And as I look at the child, I'm describing the child negatively. But, you know, my junior brother also put me on the track that that is what your senior sister is doing. And I have to keep quiet. In fact, the kind of generation that we are bringing up, in fact, we have to send them back to the olden style. Let them know what we have knowledge and we have wisdom. A country with knowledge without wisdom will always turn upside down.
Thank you very much. This was a good evening, Great King. Please, are you sure money will be taken from the Consolidated Fund to do a movie on President Kwame Nkrumah? Not today. They have not finished buying their Toyota Land Cruisers. Papa Ansa Teshinungwa, good evening. But Edward is on the line. Hello, Edward. Oh, the line cut 0302216541. Professor Kazu Seriam, we do not have a good media with good knowledge of what they want to do. Research is their problem. Good research and development and proper planning will help the media. Bright is on the line. Hello, Bright.
Hello, good evening, Mama. You said it all. In fact, the radio stations and the television stations, they are the ones who are supposed to educate us. And nowadays, what they are doing on the telly, and I mean, some of those radio stations are trying, but 79% are really going up. It doesn't help our youth. It doesn't help the country. It doesn't help us in any way. We need real education from the televisions and the radios. You know, the media. We need the education. They are the only person. They are the only entity that can educate the whole Ghana. Because if, for instance, we are doing one particular program on littering, and it's network, not necessarily one person networking all the stations, but compulsory. Every station must be educating Ghanaians not to litter, or not to do this, or not to do that. Ghana will move forward. You have a long way to go, and God bless you.
God bless you too. And Alberta is on the line, and good. Hello, Alberta.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Alberta. Alberta, now, since you're the first lady to call me, I mean, should women in the music videos, you know, strip to their panties before it's allowed? I mean, what's the... Maybe I'm too cool, you have to educate me.
Mama, no. I'm even sad, and I'm really happy today we are talking about this. It is not good. like you said, the male do cover themselves. So why is it that the female, you have to strip yourself naked? And one thing that I've seen that is making them go ahead and do it is that those who expose themselves rather get more followers. So it gingers them. So the next person who is also trying to go into the music industry would want to do like what she has seen. She will do worse than what she has seen, which is very bad. Nana, I'm not all that old, but when I was growing up, I used to watch Mami Dokno's program by the fireside.
Mm-hmm.
I learned a lot of these account stories. I learned a lot from it. I've been also watching Atamens and Showcase in Ghana. I also learned, even that was where I knew that in Ghana we don't say Nyanyu, but like a best friend is Nanehenyu, Chije Nyanyu. I learned it from Showcase in Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
And is it Obra? We were watching Obra those days. And it taught us a lot. It teaches you not to be, let's say, wicked to other people's children, not to be selfish. But nowadays, Nana, could you believe I have a 4-year-old daughter? Just 2 weeks after the lockdown, we were at home on Sunday, and the girl was squatting on the floor, like the way we do arm pressing.
Mm-hmm.
And the way the girl was twerking, then I said, "Hey, barrister." Later I called her, "Where did you learn this from?" He said, "On the TV."
Oh dear.
So I was very sad. And here is the case, Nana, because of this lockdown. Initially I was a pupils teacher, but now I have to find something to do. So these children must be home on their own alone. And the television is the only thing that they have. And from the way things are going, what they are learning from the TV, even if you say they should watch Joy Learning, in your absence, you wouldn't know what they will be watching. This ritual that they've been performing, like, I don't know, but it is very disturbing. So if the stakeholders will take charge, because at the end of the day, it is these little ones who are going to become the future leaders. When we pollute them from now, where are we heading towards?
Thank you very much, Alberta. Otabil is on the line. Hello, Otabil. Have I got Otabil? Hello? Hello, 0302216541. Noah Olansky from Laboni. Good evening, Nana. It's very sad when one sits down to think about the country, where the country is going. I'm more than the word scared because media is becoming so bad. Leaders are heading us towards danger, dishonesty everywhere, socially spoiled children everywhere. If you ask a child to tell you a story, I can't get it. But Rajimai is on the line. Hello, Rajimai.
Good evening, Nana. Thank God for keeping you.
Good. Let me hear you, my brother.
Yeah, Nana. The issue is two-sided ways. It is one thing seeing the media trying to put out what we are supposed to consume, and we, the listeners and the viewers, also deciding whether we accept what is put out to be consumed. And a media house is looking for money to pay his workers. So, I mean, in a nutshell, the money is coming for me to show. And those programs that are being shown, the advertisements and those people who are sponsoring programs, they are paying. So they don't have any options than to put them out. But we have to decide which program should we watch at a point in time. And now you see some movies being aired, and you see PG, parental guidance, 13, 18. But look at the kind of children watching these programs. Sometimes the parents will also give their tablet, their laptops to their children with data running in it. And they can download and watch on certain stuff. So are we helping our children? The future is scary, Nana. What will you?
The future is scary. My name is Yao Lajepo, a lecturer at the National Film and Television Institute, NAFTI. King Ampao, one of Ghana's finest director, has a fine script on Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and wants David Donto to play the lead role. But Ghana would not put you and I monies into financing this project to inspire this generation. Sad one. Kingsley is on the line. Hello, Kingsley.
Hello, Nana.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Nana. I'm very, very happy that you brought out this issue. You know what? What are we teaching our children? That is the first thing we have to know. Now, when somebody can be given the chance to sit behind the console, it tells you the sort of person he or he is. What do we see today? Sensationalism. I mean, do we even see that even most of the people who come to the radio don't even deserve our attention? It is so sad. So what I'm trying to suggest is that people must also demonstrate to show anger against these pastors and ritualists always on the radio stations and television. We must do that. Otherwise, we are heading towards danger. Nana, there's much to say, but I think you summed up all. Thanks.
Well, I thank you very much for tuning. Really appreciate that. Kojo is on the line. Hello, Kojo.
Nana, good evening.
Good evening.
I hope you are doing well.
I'm good, my brother.
Nana, it's a serious issue we are talking about. The question is, as a nation, Ghana, what is the plan? What are we doing? You see, everything is like, we really don't know what we want. Because if we have a plan, how? Around 12 midday, and that's almost the people in there are naked. And this is scary. And programs like yours, how many of the stations are doing such programs? Who are educating what the things that take the youth? And what are the youth supposed to do? What they see on television, what they see on the social media, internet, are the things that they are copying. And it's scary. It's scary.
Kojo, it's scary. It's really scary, honestly. It's really, really, really scary. Baba in Navrungo. Hello, Baba.
Hello.
Baba, let me hear you.
One thing I wanted to suggest is, it looks like in Ghana, we have the judiciary, the courts, the lawyers, police, and then the decision makers, like the advisors to president. Nobody knows his work. No, they are not doing their work. They don't even know what they are there for. They are just there for employment and to get money and to live. You see, well, we don't do our work. That's why all these things we see in Ghana, the wrong things going. Look at police. They don't know their work as policemen. The judges, they judge is ignorant people that they put to jail.
Don't be so definite. Don't be so definite. Bye-bye, Navrungo. I actually don't subscribe to such music videos replete with nudity for a while now. Apparently, it apparently contributes to society demeaning women. I also try preaching to people about clickbait as far as desperate bloggers seeking relevance and fame are concerned. Jerry Mozilla. Hello, I think Otabel is back on the line. Hello, Otabel.
Hello. Yeah, what I want to say is, what is going on? We have to, those who have the mind of the future, have to come together and do something so that we can protest against what is going on. What is going on is very serious. I hope you understand.
I do.
So they have to, I'm praying that maybe if one or two people who have that kind of idea of, protesting against such a thing, they have to form some group so that we talk to the judiciary. Maybe they will form some, I don't know what to do. They will do something so that to stop this kind of thing. Because it's very serious. When you see your children behaving like that or dressing some kind of way like that, I don't think you feel all right. So let's see how we can do. You know what I mean? I'm thinking of if I can come to Joy FM and meet and we talk and we see how we can do it.
Brother, thank you for your concern. Nana, the NMC is busily closing down radio stations and reducing spectrum instead of monitoring content. At times, I wonder if we truly watch digital channels since the PG never works on my TV. Vincent in Adenta. But Emmanuel is on the line. Hello, Emmanuel.
Hello, Nana. Good evening.
Good evening. Let me hear you, my brother.
Okay. Thank you very much for this topic. If we would want to go from the nudity and the violence we see, I'm not that old, Nana, but at least growing up, when you see an old person with load, you would want to help. Until we started seeing movies that when you should help an old lady, you turn into something else or she bewitches you. And then now we can't even help our aged people because we fear from movies that something bad might happen to us. So we ask ourselves, where are we going with all these things? And until we sit down as a people to define for ourselves what we want and how we want to get there, I think these things will keep happening because there is this saying that if you don't know where you are going, every road leads you there. So it appears as a nation we don't really have a focus. Like, this is what we want to do. This is where we want to find ourselves in the next 50 or in the next 100 years. At least in 2013, we did the Africa We Want, Agenda 2063. But we are not seeing anything. So if the continent is not showing much commitment, at least as a country, we can sit down to get a development plan for ourselves. This is what we want to do in the next 50 years, in the next 100 years. So then all resources available to us will be channeled into achieving that. If we don't do that, then some of these things will become very inevitable, I think.
Thank you very much. I was one of those people who was really stuck as to where do we go? And then when this corona hit, right? And then all we have is the president comes on air and says, look, fellow Ghanaians, I've closed the port. Fellow Ghanaians, don't go to church. Fellow Ghanaians, don't have a funeral. Don't do this. And everybody obeyed. Literally 99% of us obeyed. We don't go to church, until he said, okay, now you can go to church, only 100 people. And on that note, let me say, big thumbs up to Pentecost International Church in Michelle Camp. Right? I go walking there in the morning. And, you should see their setup, really beautiful. 4 hand washing, Veronica buckets, and all the seats are, spaced out and numbered 1 to 100. So Pentecost International in Michelle Camp, I think I give you a thumbs up for this one. But I'm saying that if President can just come, fellow Ghanaians, Matumi Portum, fellow Ghanaians, don't bury your father, fellow Ghanaians, don't marry, and we are out there, we are still waiting. Fellow Ghanaians, it's now time to go to school, and then we go. It's not time to go to school, we stay home. So can't the president come and say, listen, fellow Ghanaians, this nudity and this absurdity is enough, stop? I think it will stop. Just one little fellow Ghanaians, if you do this, I'm shutting down your station. Who's going to argue? But Jifa is on the line. Hello, Jifa.
My president, good evening.
I'm guaranteed one vote. Anytime I stand for presidency, I'm guaranteed one vote.
Nana, we will vote for you.
Let me hear you.
You have brought another thought-provoking topic this evening. Our dressing. To the extent that, Nana, even schools, when you come to schools and sometimes you see some teachers dressing to school as if you should vomit. Nana, where is the country going? Do we have elderly people who have passed through the olden times and they are seeing us as if they don't have mouth to talk? Nana, help us. You organize groups, we are ready to help. Show the way, we are ready to help.
Thank you very much. Nana Otupredaku says, Nana, many thanks for setting the tone for this to be made an open conversation. Tonight you have really spoken the minds of many silent people in Ghana. I, however, think that our traditional and religious leadership have been too liberal in dealing with this and must rise up to the occasion. Things must really change, and the time is now. Nana Otupreda, thank you very much. Nana Kumkrampa, I see you there. Thank you very much too. In the meantime, I want to say happy birthday to Priscilla Corte of Absa Bank. Happy birthday to you, Priscilla. Hope you enjoyed your day. Another big birthday today is the First Lady of the whole of Akwemu, Lady Akoto Ajwachiwa of Absa Bank, wife of the Paramount King of Akwemu. It's your birthday today, and I hope you have really enjoyed it. May God bless you plenty. Saturday, 11th July 2020, 10 a.m. Women Call to Worship. It's going to be streaming live on YouTube and on Facebook on the Standpoint page. 12 years of the Standpoint. 5 more days to go. He's lined up many fantastic artists to make it a blast. 12 years, probably the longest running independent show on TV in Ghana. So well done to Hineyre. For those of you who haven't gotten the copies of the book yet, well, it's 054-361-8182. 054-361-8182. A bit of me, best of you, and 50 nuggets at 50. Just call that number. She will pick it up herself. She will have an engagement with you. And then you can order your books. It is definitely a must read. But folks, I am concerned, we need a little bit of fellow Ghanaians to sanitize the airways. We are pleading on our online writers to also stop twisting things. You read the headline, and it's such a sensational headline, and you read the story and you think, what's the connection? We're too in a hurry to bring people down who don't care. So far as he's going to give us a name, let us bring them down. Victor Ofori, aka Basic is on the line. My own young brother, man. Victor Ofori is on the line. Thanks for tuning in. Mrs. Mary Japon also tuned in. But this is what we do every Monday. We perform this fantastic ritual. We agree, we disagree, we share ideas, but there's only one motive: to make Ghana a better place than we found it. And so I say that until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting will always glorify the hunter. My name is Anan Sakwa. I'll see you next Monday.